Hello. Hello, Linda. Hello, Anu. Hello, Vasily. Write your hellos, please. Yes, to know that you're hearing me. Yes, hello, Linda. Good to have you here. We are using Demio today as well. It doesn't have the possibility for you to open, unmute yourselves and join. So hello, Juho. Let's use the chat to communicate. Hello, Anu. How was your weekend? We went with my son to the swimming pool, Flamingo spa. Yesterday was the first time he's been in a pool. He's 6 years old, so he was very happy. First intimidated, but then hello, Anya. Then he enjoyed the water. He swims in the sea and lakes, but swimming pool, it was a new concept for him. So yes, so thank you for joining. A few more people are expected to join this session soon. Yet let's start. It's just sharp 12 o'clock Finnish time. Let me share my screen. Here we are. So welcome again to this session, this third webinar on the power of event success management. I go live here from Espoo, Finland on Mondays, every Monday at 12 o'clock for half an hour to give you the insights on what event success management is and what it can do for you if you are in the event industry or you're organizing events in your company, whether they're small or big, internal or external, you are in the event business. So for those who are new here and for those watching the replay later on, let me tell a couple of words about me. Sorry for the repetition if you've heard this before. I'm Chryssa Skodra. I'm a Greek living in Finland for the past 17 years. I'm an event manager, an educator, and a journalist. I came here as an exchange student 17 years ago. I fell in love with Finland and the educational system and the people and language and so on. And still I am here. The past couple of months, I'm working for Lyyti, the leading event success platform that has the software, Lyyti, our Lyyti software that enables event organizers to create their events from the beginning until the last stage, their evaluation process. And yes, I'm interested in education, events, technology, content creation. So this is it about me. And I would like the people who are now in this webinar attending live to introduce yourself briefly in the chat. Tell me a little bit your job title, if you wish, your country or city of residence, what events you're planning now or in the coming weeks or months. And please let me know if you attended the previous webinar. So this is the third one. So the previous time we spoke about the event success management fundamentals, and the first in the first session on March 14th, we open up the general introduction about the current state of events and what the past 2 years of the pandemic have caused and the importance of time and valuing times, the event participant time as the core. So please let me know in the comments. So let me see. Let me know in the comments. I'm looking at the comment section. I don't know if you can hear me correctly. Let me know, please. Yes, Juho, you are hearing me. So Juho is the first one to leave your comment. Production director in marketing agency Latamo. Thank you, Juho. Yes, I'm aware of Latamo. So you do more than 350 events yearly for our clients. Great. Thank you, Juho, for joining. I think Juho, I've seen your name before. Have you attended here the previous webinars? Let me know. So Linda is an assistant in Helsinki and have many team meetings coming up now in the spring. Yes, so I remember right, you attended the previous sessions. So let me know the rest of the people in the comments. I'll keep sharing my screen so that we can move forward. And here we were. Let's recap a little bit for those who are listening and they have been here now for the first time. So in the first session, we spoke about the importance of time. As I mentioned, time is money, and once it's spent, we cannot recover it or make up new time. So therefore, for every event we are organizing, we have to be mindful of the event participants' time. Event participants' time is seen as event currency, and that's the biggest investment in events. So have this in mind, and with that mindset, we move forward. Then we spoke about the variety of the key performance indicators or metrics that event organizers perhaps are bombarded from all different directions, that measure this, measure that, let's do this, how about that, what are your data showing about this? So as event organizers, you might be in this situation where you have from various sources pressure to follow different metrics, or some other event organizers that I've spoken also with, maybe they have lack of measuring. So they don't measure, or they have no pressure to measure. They organize events out of routine because they have to, and they're not necessarily measured. But if you're here, I think you're interested in making your events better and more successful. So that's what we were going through, deep diving into today. And this quote, when you try to measure everything, you learn nothing. So when we have to focus on so many things, perhaps we lose our orientation and our northern star and our guiding light. So this is what we're talking today in more detail. Then we spoke in the previous session about the amount of visible events on the tip of the iceberg versus and compared to the more invisible amount of events which are found under the surface. And those are all these internal events, meetings, anything from board meeting, HR events, farewell coffees for our colleague, and you name it. So all these are encounters, these are meetings and events that they should go also through the event planning and process. And they do need their own event management to some degree. Then we spoke last time that regarding innovation, I wrote there in my presentation, and I believe that innovation is found at the intersections. So here we have the traditional event management on one cycle, and then on the other circle, we have the agile methodology. And then in the intersection of those two circles, we have event success management. So a methodology that is founded and grounded on the traditional event management principles and gets a lot of lessons learned and inspiration from the agile methodology that comes from the software industry, but it has given lots of inspiration and it's been adapted to other industries as well. And then we spoke about the event cycle with different concrete 5 different stages: planning, organizing, measuring, analysis, and sharing, knowledge sharing. And then at number 3, we have measuring. And today we will open the experience value score and what this metric is and what it can do for your events. Then the last recap here, point, I showed you this graph, which has the in the horizontal axis the time continuum, and below you see the traditional event management, where events are done sporadically here and there without sort of a big picture, whereas the event success management methodology sees events as a cohesive unit that each event has to fulfill its own event cycle, those 5 stages. And then as cogs in a machine, the one event cycle is completed, then the second event cycle is completed, and the feedback and the analysis of the first events, so the EVS and the open feedback and all the metrics used for evaluating event success are used to make the second, third, and fourth event, all the organization's events better as we go. So now we come to today's main topic. And here I wanted to play you a song, Mel C's Northern Star, but I wasn't sure about the copyright. But if you want, check that song if you don't remember it from the early late 90s, when was it? So in a changing world, North Star is always constant. And this is our inspiration for today, and that will lead us to the experience value score and what this metric can do. So EVS stands for Experience Value Score. And it's a metric that is your North Star metric to guide you in your event's success. Measures the participant experience, so your events are offering greater value to your event participants continuously. What is a North Star metric? So a North Star metric, and each organization could and should have a metric, a North Star metric that guides them to see in the big picture, whereas of course other KPIs and other metrics could support the company's strategic objectives and other event-specific objectives. So a North Star metric is one measurement that's predictive of a company's long-term success. In order to qualify for a metric to be a North Star metric, it has to lead to revenue, to reflect customer value, and to measure progress. If those 3 points are met, then every department, every team within an organization can contribute to the North Star metric, and therefore, at least theory has it, that the company will grow sustainably. So what is the situation in events? We create an experience in our events, and then after 1 to 3 months, we try to measure the results. We send surveys out perhaps, or use other ways, and at the end, after a long process, we announce how did our event do. However, the issue is that by the time that the experience has taken place, our event has taken place, and the time we measure and analyze and share the results, there is a lot of things that have happened in between. So the direct impact is missing, is lacking. So the experience value score is capturing that subjective experience, the gut feeling that we spoke in the first webinar, immediately and always. How it works is this. The EVS is answering to one simple question. Was this event worth my time? Then participants can select one of these 5 emojis, as you see here. Behind those, there is psychology, theory, and also a mathematical formula. And then also at the bottom, event participants can share their feedback. So they can write open comments that justify the option that they have chosen above, which of the emojis that they have selected. So after the event, immediately, Lyti automatically sends out an email to all event attendees. And then what you get is the dashboard that we'll see shortly. Many people have, when in the previous sessions also when we spoke, they said that, well, our bosses, our management wants us to use NPS. Well, I don't want to describe it as such, but think of EVS as the NPS for events, because NPS doesn't really measure, it's not designed for events. It's asking the wrong question to event participants. So as you see in this little dialogue example, we had a board meeting. Oh, would you recommend it to you? Or would you recommend the company to your friend? Like, so it doesn't really ask the right question to get the right answer. So if you fail to ask the right questions, you're never going to get the right answers. So here is, for instance, the dashboard of my previous webinar. This is what I see from my Lyyti. After the webinar, probably the ones who have attended now for the second or third time, you have gotten in your email the EVS survey, and all the data is gathered here. This is my EVS score from webinar 2. It's a 80 score out of 100. And there it shows that here is the benchmark of our organization. So at Lyyti, the average EVS is 82. And then here below is the global EVS. This is the score of all the thousands of companies using Lyyti globally. So 77. So I see immediately where my event stands within the organization and across all organizations. And also I see response rate and how the comments were divided and so on. And here I get in the dashboard the comments that I've gotten. And thank you for your EVS scores and leaving your feedback. And after this event, as well after this webinar, I'd love to hear from you. And I'm always looking at the EVS and I'm always reading your comments and I'm using them to my next webinars and making them even better. So I have to do as I preach as well. So then you get the data from the dashboard, from Lyty's dashboard and EVS dashboard, and then you can see the different types of events, and then where is your event's EVS score and where is the EVS global benchmark. So in this case, you see that there is in some events based on the different types that maybe require some immediate attention. Could you please think, by looking at the numbers, which event category and type from these 3 rows, online, hybrid, in-person, would you focus on more? Where do you see the biggest difference compared to where your event has scored in the EVS compared to the EVS average? Where is the biggest difference? Please think a little bit, justify your answer, write in the comments your answer. So this is in the column, the first column. So here's the event type in the first column, second column, your EVS and EVS benchmark. So this is the average of the EVS within either the organization or the global benchmark. Let's say this is the EVS benchmark in your company, for instance. So how would you, to which event, let me stop sharing so I can look. Somebody in the comments, any ideas to which event you would put more effort and look into the data? I can go on if you still want to think about it. So 61, 66, 55, 60, 70, 79. So let me help you. here we have, okay, so in this case, it's the global benchmark. In this column, these numbers are made up just to showcase the example here to you. So we have a 9 points difference compared to where our event has scored, a one in-person event has scored compared to the global benchmark. So for that reason, perhaps that could tell us that this is something we need to look into more detail. What was the reasons? What was the open feedback? And why the score, how the score could be improved in the next time, in the next event. Then the keyword analysis, of course, is important to analyze not just the scores, because somebody who puts a 3.9 maybe has totally different approach than somebody who put or who would, if the scale was different, so would put 3.9 is different than a 4.7. In that sense, maybe the same person would select the fourth emoji. But what does that mean? How it differentiates is with the comments, the open comments below. Then you get more insights. And how you analyze them is you see if there's any pattern emerging, if there's people who are from their participant experience, they share specific things that you should draw your attention to. So you should get ideas for improvement and then committed actions for your team to do to their next event. And we spoke about this North Star metric in the beginning of this session. So one of the elements, if you recall, of the 3 bullet points of North Star metric should have is to lead to revenue and to really be able to monetize this data and insights that you're getting from your North Star metric. This is an example that I would like to present to you how to better use the experience value score as well as other metrics to get insights into your event success in your organization. So in this first 4 columns, your EVS benchmark, number of participants, and no-show percentage. These are all data that come from Luti, from Luti's software. So this is something that all this information, all these cells can be filled in easily. And then this data are very company and organization specific. So here in this columns, you can fill in your own metrics that you take into account based on your own organization's strategic objectives and key performance indicators that you want to follow. So here are Luti's data that they're available. And then here you can compare those data, together correlate those data with your company insights. So for instance, in this case, you see that we have identified in the previous slides that here the in-person event type scored a 70, hypothetically speaking, in this case, of EVS compared to a global benchmark of 79. So EVS, we, based on our data, directly correlates to sales, for instance. So if you were to do this analysis in your company, and I have to say that from our product development team, I know that there are great developments coming up regarding more professional and pro analytics regarding the experience value score. And this is something I'm looking forward to, so that we can get even more in-depth insights of how to utilize this formula and EVS as a North Star metric combined with other metrics from the product and other sources as well. And then you see the number of participants, the no-show, and here, as I said, the latter 4 columns are data that come from an organization. So you see the average sales per participant, closed opportunities, total sales, and sales potential. So you see here that the lost sales are indicative in the red here, 4,320. So here is the formulas and how to calculate those. But of course, I wanted to give you as an example so how you could use the EVS, the Experience Value Score, together with other company-specific and organization-specific metrics to result whether into was my event successful or not, keeping in mind also the customer value. Also, as we said, a North Star metric should focus on creating the customer value and generating revenue. So this is what I would like to present to you today, and I could talk more about this topic, but our time is limited for this public free webinar. I would like to give you some time in the comments to post your questions if you have anything that's top on your mind. So please think and write your questions. I'll stop sharing my screen shortly and I'll read your comments. And I would like to thank you for your time. I hope it was worth it. Feel free to contact me by email, chryssa.skodra@luti.fi or .com. And my telephone number there, if somebody wants to pick up the phone and call me, I gladly take calls as well. And please join the Event Success community on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I will be posting those videos of the recordings of the webinars there. And I have every Wednesday a podcast live at 12 o'clock. So join the Event Success community, tune in to the podcast every Wednesday from the community page. So, thank you for an interesting presentation, says Linda. Greetings from Paris, event manager at an international provider of essential environmental services. I participated at the last edition. Thank you, Anya. Nice to have you again. Any questions? Thanks. Very well opened the idea. Thank you, Juho. Please invite me to your companies if you want to hear more. I'd love to meet you in person. I'd love to work on your projects or your events or having my insights as well. I'm very curious. My role here at Luti is very educational. So my role is to help you organize better and more successful events. Anything else on top of your mind? I would like to thank you one more time. This is the Power of Event Success Management webinar live every Monday at 12. This is our third webinar today. And next time we will talk about event portfolios. What is an event portfolio and why they are important, and every company should have one. I recently gave an interview also for the Evento magazine here in Finland. I spoke about the event portfolio. The interview will come out in the May issue, so stay tuned. I'll share that with you if you're able to read it in Finnish. I would like to thank you, everybody. Have a nice and productive rest of the day and rest of the week. So, as I said, reach out to me, check out the Event Success community, and stay in touch. Hope to see you next Monday at 12. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Linda.